Good morning, everybody. I am so ecstatic. Today, I have such a great guest coming to you guys. His career is as long as it is impressive, but today we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about him, the human, the kind soul that he is. And I'm so grateful that he decided to come to my show. And here he is, the wonderful Mike King. Hi,
Hello,
Mike.
hello. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
You are so sweet. I'm eternally grateful.
It is, when it's funny, we connected through the hounds of business, and it is a community, and we don't have to be standing in the same place for a community to work.
That yes, and community is I find it more than now than ever. It's so important because with AI and all that stuff that's we're all afraid it's going to take over the world. The most important thing is the human connection now. To me,
All
anyway.
right, on the mic, Mike King here with Isabel. So, Isabel,
Um,
people are coming into the studio. Sorry about that's
that's
what happens here.
wonderful.
That's our purpose. Have a seat there. We
That
got the,
is the joy of going live.
we got the Navy Connect. Can I have 1 second, please?
Of course you
Come on,
can.
come on, come on in. Come on, jump in. Look at that.
Who
See,
is that? Show them to us so we
we're,
can
we're going
read.
to. So I was in the Army. There's my Army thing. Come on around. So we have some we have Navy cadets in the house.
Oh,
Hi, I'm Mike.
wonderful.
Hey, wait a second. Wait. There's McKenna. Okay, there she is.
Thank
Hi.
you.
So
Hi.
she's gonna sit in on the interview with us today.
Wonderful.
I'm sorry. All right. So
No.
McKenna, really quickly, tell us who you are.
I am Petty Officer Second Class McKenna Carson. I am with the Navy Sea Cadet Corps. I go to Cosby High School in Midlothian, Virginia. And basically, this program is all about leadership and for pursuing your future in leadership skills.
There we go. All
Well,
right, so Isabella, that's what we do. That is the essence of the Mike King Biz radio show.
and Mike, as a veteran, an Air Force veteran myself, and I was in the cadets when I was her age, I applaud her for doing that. And I say, good, go for it. And the impact on your life is going to be fantastic. I know that.
So really quickly, Isabella, tell us where you are, where you're
I'm
based out of.
in Montreal, Canada.
Alrighty.
Born and raised.
So this is the interview. So go ahead. Come on, have a seat. Stay with us. Alrighty. So Isabel, let's talk.
So, Mike, what is dead or alive, but ideally someone you actually knew in real life, who has been the most influential person in your life and why?
So it starts. So my mom and dad that was them. We came from the school at the time of hard, tough love. So I came from being privileged, but my dad had been an orphan, and I always joked to say that my dad didn't like me because he grew up poor, and I didn't. But everything that he gave me came with a price. They always own their own business. Not getting any audio. Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Yeah, we
So the
can.
idea of it is that my parents, they were the place that people came when they needed something. So
Hmm.
when you showed up and my dad would make a call, he didn't know how to really do anything, but he always knew the person. And there's a value in knowing the person. And so that's what we do.
And how has that influenced your life now, either personally or professionally?
So I've been married I was always a real introvert. And so I spent a lot of time in the Army. I was in the Army for a long time. And it is, it's just something about being in a group. I just enjoyed it. I was an only kid for almost 14 years.
Hmm.
And what I did was I kind of kept my crew around me. So that's the way. So the people that you see here who come in, those are the people that I deal with, because my wife is an extrovert. I've learned this is the sales mic. But when everyone leaves, I go back to being the kid who
Yeah.
was the only kid with a pair with bunk beds because people could stay. And that's so this radio,
Wow.
my studio is a madhouse. It's not like it's the only place where we're on ESPN, but we're not talking sports. If I talk sports, it's because I love sports, but doing what we do here, it's changing the world. People
Yeah.
come in, I don't know who people are part of the time. I'm like, hey, I'm Mike. How did you get to me? Because I know some cool people, and what they do is they send people my way, and we give them a platform every day.
And you learned that from your parents.
I did.
That's wonderful. How What would you say you are other than helping others because that's transparent in you and shining your light and spreading your light on other people because that is obvious. But other than that, what is the thing that makes your soul sing, that makes you wake up in the morning and be happy to just be alive? What's your passion and how did you come to find it?
I always was that kind of person. I was always a person who was more on the upbeat side. That was just me. I fell into this crazy. This was so I got out of the army. I'd done my time. I enjoyed it. Went all over. You hated the place that you were right then, and then when you left, you missed it because hey, I wonder what happened to Jonesy. But it put an impact on your life. I get out. I had never been in a radio station, a TV station, and it ended up working there. But a person was like, "Hey, can you help me with my radio show?" And then I realized the power of it. So when a young person comes in, they're able to see the hardest part about this media thing is getting in the door. Everybody has a story to tell. And what we do is we just give them a platform. And the business side of it, I have great sponsors and advertisers who understand, like people understand that, you know, business can help society be better. That's the foundation for the program. And so when I run into, like the hounds of business, we're having folks from around the world. You're in Canada, Mike's in Kentucky, I'm in Richmond. And then we're talking, the last time we were on, we were talking, so it's Canada, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and
Australia with
Australia,
Christine Bell.
all at the same time. So what we do is
Mhm.
we open doors for people. I didn't know what the military would do, but I loved I didn't love every day. But man, there were some days, even when it was the bad days, when you look back and going, hey, that was pretty cool. Plus, I found my wife, the Army was a matchmaker 43 years ago. Fort Riley, Kansas is where we got married.
How did you meet her?
We both worked in the hospital. I had broken my leg on a jump in Alaska.
Aw,
And it was when I met her. She was a nurse. She came in, and
that was it.
that was all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote. But you know what we did? We built the marriage. I called her by her last name. Like, does everybody call you by your last name?
Yes, sir.
You do. And so we called each other by our last name for years. I
That's
didn't know her
typical
first
of the
name.
military, isn't it?
Yeah, when she was Freeman, I was King. And then when we got married, we didn't realize that we were Mr. and Mrs. King because we had been Mike and Donna for so long.
Yeah.
So we didn't understand that. Sorry. So that's the
So
interviewer in me. Sorry about that.
hey, that's okay. It's how did you stumble into your first radio station? How did that happen?
A guy asked me, could I help him market his radio show? And I'm like, okay, I'm a salesman. So I said to him, what do you talk about? He said supply chain management and business principles. I'm like, dude, man, that's the that's the least sexy stuff going. But I helped him, and what he would do is he would give me airtime, and then I would give the airtime to friends of mine who were in nonprofits,
Aw.
and then that went away. And so I did that for about 6 months helping him, and then he was like, "Hey, I'm running a radio station. Would you like a show?" And I'm like, "What am I going to talk about?" That same stuff about business helping society be better. And I said to him, okay, what kind of station? And he said, Christian conservative. And I'm like, okay, I'm good on the Christian side.
Yeah.
All my sisters are
It's the
preachers.
conservative side
That
that's
was the one that worried me. And I'm like, you guys aren't going to muzzle me? Here I am on conservative radio for 3 years. I would have never left. and I was the opposite guy. I was the guy who thought different. But what I
Mm,
learned was how to be on the radio and how. So here, because I pay to be here, Summit Media doesn't say anything to me, as long
mm.
as I'm not, doing bad stuff here.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you. As long as they're not going to tell me what to say because they're taking the money,
Yeah.
and it's a business show, and we get back to the money. I didn't realize the power of money when I was in the Army.
No, that's not a reality
It's
when
no,
we're in the
no.
army. Yeah. There's always money in the military.
There's always money, but the
There's
GIs,
always money.
when I met somebody who made $25,000, I'm like, whoa, what do you do with all that money? Money, you
Yeah.
know what? We got, you're well dressed, love a uniform.
Thank you.
Something about a
She
uniform. There's
she
the mess
looks at
hall.
she look I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. She looks like she has a lot of medals. Can she
Okay,
come
so here,
closer?
Thank you.
alrighty. So, what was the reason? Really quickly, sorry. So, what
Yes,
was the
no,
reason
go
to
ahead.
join the cadet corps?
Well, initially I had a couple friends that were in it and I wasn't really too sure about it, and so I came to the first drill. I was really nervous and this was 6 years ago. Oh my gosh, I feel so old now, right?
6 years ago.
Yes, sir.
How old are you? 47.
I'm 16.
You joined when you were 10 years old.
Yes, sir.
Man,
Wow.
was there military in your family?
Yes, sir. My stepdad was in the army for about 20 years.
Okay, so I hear you.
Yeah, there
Thank
it
you. God
is.
bless for the army.
There
What
it is.
made you go to? Ain't nothing personal, but why'd you go over to the Navy?
Well,
I don't want Hey,
fair point.
we can
Fair
all get
point.
along here.
So
Hey, I was Air
I
Force.
Exactly.
so I didn't really know about any other programs, and my neighbor, she was search and rescue paramedic firefighter, and I was like,
Ooh.
I kind of want to be like
Wow.
her. So and her sons are in this program, so let me figure this out. Let me see what they're all about. And I mean, personally, for my future, I would like to join the army, because I mean, after being Navy might not be for me. So I think I'm gonna pursue a future in the army.
But you know what? It's we all joke about it, but it's the service. The part.
Yes.
It's a
Absolutely.
service.
Yes.
We can mess with each other, all of that. But you made a commitment to serve, and that's what it is. So when you see a person out there, doesn't matter which branch they're in, we're gonna mess with each other. But the idea of it, you put that on, and that makes you different than the other people who are walking around because you're all looking at you. They're all
Yes, sir.
looking. Wait a second. Let me see your shoes. Ah. Hey, so wait a second. Oh, Isabella, you
It's
can't
the
see it.
same dedication, right? It doesn't
I got
matter
I
if
got
you're
patent
Army,
leathers
Navy.
on right here from the Army days. But sometimes you just keep that. Alrighty, so we're having an interview here, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I can see, Mike, how passionate you are about your job because I mean, here you are. You're supposed to be the guest, and it's a second nature. You take it over, and that I'm fine with that. It's all good, but you take it over and you take your spotlight and you share it with this beautiful young lady. And yeah, if that's not passion, I don't know what is, man. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's
Okay, so you
beautiful.
can. I'm sorry. You can get back to your format. I just got carried away. Sorry.
How was your transition from military life to civilian life? Did you have hardship in there?
Yes, and one of the reasons is the military goes 100 miles an hour, and you kind of only know the people who are in your world. And then you get out, and there's the rest of the world who doesn't understand. I hate
Yeah.
to be like the old man, but back in the day, and like back in the day, when what we did was a person went to the service.
Yeah.
They didn't go to the Army or the
No.
Navy or the Marine Corps. They went to the
No.
service. And you say, "Hey, where's Billy?" "Oh, he went to the service." And that's what it was. So you went and you did the service to your country, and everyone's going. The people are in your world, and then when you get out, the music stops.
Yeah.
And then it's a whole bunch of people don't understand the things that you do. That's why now me and my wife we go to the VA, and whenever you call, there's always, are you thinking about hurting yourself? Are you thinking about suicide? Because your
Mhm.
world is controlled.
Yeah.
Whether you did 2 years, 4 years, or 24 years, you live with inside that structure, and then that
Yeah.
structure is gone. And sometimes people don't know how to how to deal once that stops.
So how did you find once you got out of the military, how did you find your way, and your purpose, like your reason to get up in the morning,
So
other
when
than your wife and kids?
well, that one, that and starvation, that my wife had been in the army too, so she understood that part of it. So it didn't that five we get off at 5 o'clock. That forget
Yeah.
that. When we're done,
Mhm.
we're done. And so a guy, when as I was getting out, a guy says, "Hey, go down there to Sergeant Major. He runs the Orkin, you know, uh, organization down here. Go, he'll hire you." And I went there. And next day I'm riding around with this diamond on the car selling Orkin stuff. And he told me how to do it. And that's how I got into the sales world. Was that because I had met another GI who kind of took me under the wing and said, "This is how you do it." And then you
Mm.
just learn how to do things. Places run on order for the most part.
Yeah,
And that's the military. And so you get out of the military and you sort of run in an orderly fashion.
yeah, and I think that there are a lot of civilian companies, regardless of the country, that loves to hire vets because we're disciplined and we're going to show up on time and we're very mission oriented and we're going to do what's needed in order to get the job done, right? Because that's ingrained in us since like the beginning of times. Like this young lady over here who started the cadets at 10,
At 10,
imagine the impact that's going to have on her life in 40, 50 years from now.
she'll always remember. So, how do the kids at Cosby High School? How do the kids look at you when they see you walking around with the uniform on?
I mean, I bet you definitely some of them are a little bit confused because they don't really understand like the
Yes.
whole point of it. But I feel like some of it also might be some like respect in a way because like I am making a big time commitment with this program, and so I just feel like that some of them recognize that like this is a part of me setting myself up for future success.
There's like one question here. How do when other GIs look at you and they see so they're in their 30s or 20s and they see you rocking the gear? What do they look at you like, or what do they say?
I've had I've had a lot of people come up to me and ask or tell me thank you for my service, and I'm like, wait a second, I'm with the Naval Sea Cadet Corps program, and I mean when GIs walk up to me, they it's like
You're in the family.
exactly, it's exactly like that.
You're in the family. It doesn't matter if you're
Exactly.
16 years old. You're putting
No.
the uniform on, and you're doing,
Yes.
and you're looking the part. So, all right. So, sorry, Isabella.
That's okay. And I remember being a cadet when I was a teenager as well, and even when I joined the military. And one of the things that I really enjoyed is not having to look for what am I going to wear this morning. You get up, yeah. See, you get up in the morning. You know what you're going to put on. Your uniform. You have pride in wearing the uniform, and then when you slip into these jeans and on the over the weekend, it's just that much better, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, Mike, when you transitioned and you became a salesperson, obviously with the help of other vets or other people that used to serve in the military, how did you not justify it to yourself, but how did you refocus on your life's purpose? Because there's nothing like serving your country as a purpose, right?
Right.
So, how did you refocus that purpose?
I After I'd been in for 4 years, I had enough. I was done. I'm out of here. And I'd always wanted to be in the military. I wanted to go to the Air Force, but the Air Force, it took some time. It was like the delayed entry, and I'm like, okay, I'll go to the Army. So I did my years. I did 4 years and almost five, and I got out. I was
Hmm.
done. And then I realized I was a horrible civilian. I was a horrible civilian. So when I kind of realized it when one day, and my daddy got me a job with the federal government. So, and that made it even worse. When I realized that I was sick, and all I had to do was
Hmm.
call him and say, "I'm not coming today."
Yeah,
That was a beautiful thing compared to sick call.
true.
Yes, sick call. I had to be there until, and I was a medic, so I understood the
Mm.
process of sick call.
Mhm.
So I realized after I'd been out for a year, I missed it. and that's when I went back. I'm like, okay, because
Oh wow.
I
So
had
you
gotten out.
did go back.
Yeah, I went back. You can go
Oh
back home again,
wow. Yes, that's true.
and then you realize what home is,
Yeah.
regardless of where you are, especially for men too. Would like if you sit with another girl, you guys can have heartfelt conversations.
Absolutely.
Men can't.
Yeah.
We're gonna sit there telling big war stories that everything is fine and we're great while the wheels are falling off. But military people don't. That's a different story. If
Yes.
you see the person at their worst, and how do you know? Because you're at your worst too,
Yeah,
and you
because you've
guys are
been there.
going
Yeah.
through it.
Yeah.
You guys are
And
going through it.
there's a camaraderie that is unparalleled. It for me as a veteran, I have never found. I served 10 years and I have never found as strong a sense of belonging as I did when I was in the Air Force. Ever, 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 ever. And I'm still, I mean, I've been out for over 2 decades now, and I am still in contact with people that I served, regardless of if they're still in the military or not. So it's, yeah, the camaraderie and the sense of belonging is very easy to be attached to, I find.
But when you find it, it's like in business when you talk about culture. Everyone may not be able to tell you what good culture is, but boy, they know what bad culture is. And it's the same thing. And that's what we found when I found Mike with the Hounds of Business Community. It has that thing, that feel to it, that people are working for a common good,
Yeah.
regardless of where you are. And we really didn't know that, whether you want to call it esprit de corps or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
the touchy feely stuff. It matters.
It is very, very much so. It's yeah, the sense of belonging, and we get that from the hounds, right?
We do
Because
get
as
that from the
soon,
Hounds.
yeah, yeah, as soon as you get in, you're a part of the gang, and
So the
people will
Hounds of
show up.
Business is a business community of people all around the world. So
Mhm.
we're in Richmond. She's in Canada. We have friends who are in Australia,
Wow.
Europe, Africa, and people come together and they talk about business stuff. But it's more, it's like it's more than just business stuff. It's about, personal things. It's how life is going with you.
Yeah, very true. We're going on almost 23 minutes. Mike, is there anything else you would like to share with us about you, the people in your life, your passion, or your purpose so far? Because your life is far from over.
Sometimes, if you had told me this is what I was going to be doing 10 years ago, I would have told you you're a lunatic. I, I'm a reluctant salesman. I'm a salesman who doesn't like people I don't know. But I've been forced into this right here and I found my thing. So you may not
Mm,
know when you find your thing. It may be 30 years old, 20 years old. It may be, I turned 64 a couple of days ago.
oh,
And
happy belated birthday.
thank you. It's on New Year's Eve and nobody cares that it's your birthday. No, they do not care that it's your birthday. But
Yeah,
the
that's
idea of,
right.
yeah, the idea of it is that people, this thing that we're doing, you find your thing and you can open doors. Me and my wife, we live with the whole pay it forward model. This
Mm,
conversation right here, I'd never met her before. I'd remember, like, okay, they're coming from this other school that I had met because I thought they were doing some great things, but we give a platform to it. On a
yeah.
regular random Thursday, you can change the course of somebody's life. You talking right now, somebody somewhere sees you and hey, remember that girl that we saw in the in the cadet uniform? And they're like, wow. And next thing you know, you just changed the course of somebody's life.
Well, one thing is for sure is this young, beautiful lady right here in the Navy Cadets is going to remember today because she walked in your studio and she didn't think she was going to give a live
Wait
interview.
a second. How you doing? Come on over here. All right, so real quickly, I know you got to go. Come on around. Come on
That's
around.
okay. This is
So,
your show, Mike.
yes, I know. So we
You
have
tell me
friends
when
from
we're
the
done.
from the Lynn Haven
We
School.
have another
We
one.
we have
Oh,
another one. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
hi.
Okay, so what's your name?
My name is Victoria, but I go by PO3 Oliver.
She is PO3, and she is you are the money person when we talked the other times.
Yes.
Yes, she is. So she's from Lynn Haven Schools, and we had a conversation before that you were running the school store.
Yes.
There you go. See, so
Aw.
when people walk in here, it is a madhouse, and no one can really kind of understand. What I'm going to do really quickly, Isabella, I'm going to turn the camera around.
Go ahead.
So, wait 1 second.
Uh-oh. Oh, hi. Hi, everybody. They're camera shy, are they? Oh, we lost your mic. We can't hear you anymore, Mike. Are you still with us?
I'm with you.
You accidentally muted your mic.
No, they're in the witness protection program, so we couldn't show them.
Okay, so that's why you show them to us.
Very
Do
quickly.
you want
yeah.
to share their fake names with us so we can make sure that they are found?
Alrighty, so I'm sorry.
It's okay. It has been such a privilege and such a great conversation with you. Where can we find you? How can we encourage you? Oh, I think you're still muted. I don't know what
Yes,
happened.
Richmond. I'm not sure.
There you go.
One of Mike with Mike RV.
Oh, I don't know. Your mic goes on and off here.
Oh, Mike
there
King
you go.
Biz is where you can find me.
Mike King Biz on every platform?
Yes.
Wonderful.
On every platform, and you can see it in the the doohickey at the bottom.
At the doohickey at the bottom, which is our great producer Mike is helping us today or helping me today. Mike King, it's been a great pleasure to have you on. I am so happy that you were with us. And guys, I will see you next week. And next week I have another special treat, and it's another radio legend. So I'll catch you guys next week. Thank you to both the beautiful ladies that are accompanying us today. Bye, guys.
Thanks, now. Take care.